What's going on, everyone? What are you after?
My 9 and my 10.
Your 9 and your 10?
I have wrenches.
Oh, check my box. They might be in there. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today is Monday, and we've got a new employee. He's no new face to the channel. Here we've got Frederick.
Man of mystery.
Man of mystery. Finally got him to quit his job. He came up here to start working for us. So we're gonna really be turning and burning now, y'all. He's kind of the can-do attitude type of guy, you know? And Mr. Frederick's gonna help us out. Anyways, we cut and buffed on Donovan's car. We're making great progress on it. We're gonna get this cradle slapped back in. I think we're gonna change these up to finally doing the weekly vlogs. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see how the day goes. But we're gonna get started on this Cobalt, get the cradle put back into it, because I'd like to get it outside since the engine's still sitting here. Get some cars moved around so we can actually start working, because the lift is up and operable. Frederick spent the weekend getting all the electrical knocked out in the building, so everything works as it should. So I need to get this car moved so we can get a car up, get some suspension changed out on a Miata, things of that nature. Let's dive into getting this cross member put back in, and then getting some cars put in and getting to work.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel?
Look at the lean on that hood. That ain't the only lean. Look at the lean on that engine. It's got a broken mount. That's kind of like least of our worries. We've got this EG in 93, 92, 95, something like that. EG hatch, race car. Gentleman was driving it. Maybe had a money shift. That's what he thinks happened. It stopped going into gear. Brought it into us. We're gonna see what this thing's all about. J32, maybe J35, not sure which one. Does have the Type S trans on it, so probably 32. We're gonna check. Frederick's checking.
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
32.
32. J32 in this thing. Overall, pretty neat little car. Looks to be in pretty decent shape. But we just found something while we dived into this, just right off the lick. One, this line right here for the brake line is super tight to the engine right here. And we've got some fluid leaking down. I mean, I can't even wiggle that thing. It's just like jammed in there tight. So we gotta figure out what's going on with that. And then Frederick said, well, let's check the fluid. And by golly, there's, I mean, okay, if you move the lid, there's a little bit in there.
Not enough. But
not enough to work. Yeah. So, we're gonna bleed this thing real quick and see if we can get it to move and get up onto the lift at least. And maybe hope that it's just this line leaking. If it is just the line leaking, easy fix. Get a line put on it, change out a couple fittings, bleed it, get him on his way. Hopefully the money shift didn't contribute to more issues, but we will see. Anyways, let's get some cars moved. Let's get this thing inside and let's see what we're working with. Probably. All right, y'all, we just got this car set down. We're gonna work on getting this EG hatch moved around so we can get some cars situated, get this thing out, and go ahead, get a Miata in, get it up, and get to working on it. Let's see how this goes. We think this car just needs a clutch line bled. We're fingers crossed. Came in on a miss shift. Wouldn't shift no more. We see a leaky line. Hopefully that's the verdict. But we're gonna figure that out. Move some cars around. Yep.
fucking mount broke and it goes, and it goes, kink, and it goes.
Y'all hear that? That's how that happened. Money shift, broke engine mount, pinched line, leaked all the fluid. So we're gonna tighten that thing up, bleed the clutch. It still don't help the fact that we have a broken motor mount over there. So even if we can move it, I mean, can't move it far. We can move it from here to in there. So maybe we'll push it to that spot, and then we can maybe get it to, maybe we'll just push it in, get the motor mount fixed, and then bleed the clutch. Yeah. Anyways, that's what we're gonna do here. The starter signal stuff, that's really interesting too. That they got this nice harness, but they're just not using the signal from it. They got their own signal. Race car problems. Anyways, let's get some cars moved and see what else we can find out on this thing.
We just got the Miata in. It is now up on the lift, which is awesome. So we will get the suspension out, see what's going on with it, get our ball joints and all that good stuff in it. So we'll catch you when we dive into it.
Hey, let's go up with it and see if this thing's gonna hold the car. And it falls over. Go there and let's let it ride a second. More? Well, just let it ride there a second. Hot damn.
And what was this one needing?
Oh, bushings, upper lower ball joints, tie rod ends, or not tie rod ends,
End links.
sway bar end links, clutch cable or speedo cable, shift bushing kit. That's about it. All right, guys, check that out. That thing's sitting up in the air just like it should. The lift seems to be holding everything. Frederick did his job right. How cool is that? That's super cool. Now we can get to work on this Miata. This one, as you guys just heard, getting a bunch of suspension stuff done to it. And there's crap on the screen, just like always. All right, getting a bunch of suspension stuff done to this one. Frederick's gonna kick some butt on it. I'm gonna help him. We're gonna pull these wheels. I gotta find some bushings. Once we get those bushings, then we can really kill it. But all brakes, all bushings, upper lower ball joints, shift kit, lots of good stuff. It's got, we discovered the other day, this end link isn't even attached. It's just flopping around. It bangs, it clanks, it makes noise. The boots are torn on the uppers. Just a lot of little things. The bushings are pushing out of the lower control arms there. All sorts of good little stuff. That's where we're at on it. We're gonna dive into this thing and get some work done. All right, so while Frederick's kicking butt on this rear brake setup here, kicking butt or getting butt kicked? One of them. Little bit of both. A little bit of both. We're gonna get these Miatas figured out. But new brakes going on, new rotors going on. We're figuring out a bunch of the front end stuff. I'm gonna jump over here on this EG, get it jacked up, get the engine mount here pulled off of this thing and see if it's savable or see if we need to get a new mount for it. It pulled the bolts on a money shift and hopefully it broke the mount and pinched the line, leaked all the fluid out. Cross our fingers, he might have got real lucky on this one. Such a cool little car. EG hatch, was an SI model, but this thing is full race car now. Race car seats, switch panel inside, battery behind the seat, gutted out, race suspension. Suspension on this thing's a pretty penny there, y'all. Really cool little ride. Got the Omni Dash. Hopefully we can get this thing back up so he can go rip it some more. Makes me want to do a J swap even more now. We got a blue coupe out there that could use one. But let's dive into this, dive into that Miata, and see how our day goes. So when you're getting real frustrated with your brakes on these, and you're just at the point of no return, pull the bolt out of the back. That little guy right there goes on the back as a cap, and then that Allen goes in to that cap. And as you twist the Allen, that guy there actually goes in. That's the piston for the brakes. Y'all see that there? It's gonna start working its way in.
There she goes.
Yep, just like that. Suck it in. Now put it all back together, put your brakes on, bada bing, bada boom, away you go. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I ran into that, I believe it was on a Porsche is the one that did that. I had to Google it, I ain't gonna lie, but I ended up doing it on a Porsche once that had it like that. So just a little trick for all you Miatas out there, just getting into them. Make sure when you do those rear brakes, do that, otherwise you're just gonna fight it. It ain't going nowhere, huh? Ain't gonna get it. That's where we're at on that. I'm gonna dive back onto this.
How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy.
All right. Upon first glance of removing this mount here, these motor mounts look like they're pretty simple here. It's just a bolt here, and it appears to be just a bolt down there. It could be a little more complex than that. There might be bolts behind these timing covers, but I really kind of doubt it. You can see though that that mount actually separates right back here, not up here anywhere. So if it does separate back there, there's a good possibility there may be one behind these covers. Tried to do a quick Google search, didn't really see one. Found one that looked like it, and it looked like it only had those three. So let's cross our fingers, hope it's those three. Let's jack this thing up, see if we can get those out, get this mount saved. Frederick and I have already done a little talking on it. And I think what we can do is just get this, weld a nut to this bolt, get it out of our way, and then just drill all the way through this mount, drill through it here, and then we can just put a bolt and nut all the way through this thing and bolt it back together that way, versus going and having to buy a mount, source a mount, to get a mount, all that fun stuff. Let's get this mount off. Frederick's getting those brakes whooped, and let's get these cars out of here. Oh, he putting a wheel back on. Putting a wheel back on. All right. That's a good sign there, y'all.
Yay.
One side down, 3 more to go. Hear that, y'all? Stern talking to. I got this mount out. It was a little bit of a bugger. Had to loosen all the lower timing cover as well in order to get that guy out of my way, because this idler right here sits right in the middle of it. I think that's actually the water pump. That is the water pump. So the water pump sits right in the middle of all that. But we got it out. I'm gonna work on getting that bolt out. I might actually just run up to the junkyard real quick and pull one out, if it'll come out pretty easy. And then Frederick's making good headway on this, as you guys have seen. We've got both the rears on. And he is working on the front end now. What you working on, Frederick?
We are working on upper ball joint replacements.
Upper ball joint replacements.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. Fun stuff.
On a Miata.
On a Miata. He's gonna cuss the engineers because they go ahead and put the strut right through the upper control arm. I mean,
just been a Chevy truck.
is that how they do it on the Chevys? Yeah, just like that, Chevy truck. Get yourself a little S10 and.
Except the shock doesn't go through the upper control arm like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, see?
So that's where we're at on this. I'm gonna get this mount figured out, and believe I'm going to replace this idler also. It's got some crud on it, as you guys can see, and pretty dang loose. Let's get that replaced. Let's get the mount fixed and placed. Let's get this job done and out of here. If you can get to the bottom side of your bolt. What's up, Donnie? Oh yeah? Okay, what about rears? Okay. Yeah, Lyle actually says the rears are worse off than the fronts. Perfect. Where are they at? Okay. Oh, dang. Heck yeah. Okay, well, let me talk with Mr. Frederick and see what he says. All right. Heck yeah. And that's Doghouse? Track Dog. Okay. Miata guys, yeah. Oh, heck yeah. Cool. All right, I'll talk with Frederick, get this bolt out, and then I'll call you. All right, bye.
What's up?
Oh, parts. So, Track Dog has the parts we need for this thing, fronts and rears, in stock. I knew we should have called them.
What is it?
Last week, yeah.
Bushings?
All the bushings, every one of them, in stock, local.
Okay.
Do we want to do the fronts? I'd say it's already out.
No, it's working on it.
So working on its way out. So I think it would be smart to spend the $100.
Sure.
Do the front bushings. Have Donovan go pick them up for us today. Bring them back. Bam, bam.
Yeah.
Rears, it's already together. I think we just leave it together, unless the rear is going to be easy enough to pull back the uppers and.
Rears are just a little trickier than fronts.
Okay, so I think the rears are. I think we'll just do our fronts.
The axles and all that good jazz. Rears aren't as bad as the fronts.
Oh, to get out?
Yeah.
Because there's no shock.
Because there's no shock going through it.
Oh yeah, it's just the 3 bolts.
Just the big bolt, this bolt, that bolt, this bolt, that bolt. This bottom one will come out. Top one is just.
Are the
bolts.
lowers bad on this one, or the?
Doesn't look like it.
Just the uppers. So I think we should probably just do them upper ones. If we decide to do them.
Right.
Just them ones.
Yeah, that's 2 bolts. That's like a Honda upper control arm, upper, and then this main bolt there.
Yep.
And that one goes through the rear hub.
Okay, yeah.
Take the brakes and everything back off. The axle.
Well, we could leave it on, right? The spindle, if we do just the upper. Just let this flop out. Yeah, and then
that
undo.
bushing is on the spindle.
Oh, yeah, I'm following.
That one just saddles it.
Can we use a like a ball joint press? Well, not without using the.
Maybe, yeah.
And just suck it back in.
Possibly. There's enough room on this side without the tire. Possibly.
We got some thinking to do on that. So I'm gonna have Donovan go get those for the fronts, and then while he's out there, I'll see about the backs. And if they got them, we'll just get them. And if we don't do them, we got them. Perfect.
Somebody else will need them eventually, right?
Oh, this ain't gonna be your last or your first. Well, maybe your first, but not your last.
Well, because Donnie has them also.
Yep.
Newer.
Newer spec. 90 to 93 is the same. Yeah, so depending on that. All right, y'all. You just get to see if I'm missing a hanger. Do you see the hole in the hanger?
I see the hole in the resonator.
Yeah, there we go. Hole in the resonator, and then the hanger bushing's missing, I think is what it was, right?
Yeah, this is folded open.
Yeah. So it needs to be repaired. We're gonna do a little better than that. That's our exhaust fix that we got. Because I'm sure that's some of her clinking noise too.
Oh yeah, for sure, because it's...
Yeah, it's there. No,
can't
that
be.
can't be. And I've got exhaust hangers
Okay,
for
so
us
this
to build
should
our own.
wrap around here.
Okay.
Instead of here, it should wrap around here, so it should push it this way, and then the bushing will be inside of this open piece.
Right,
So
yeah,
bit here,
used to have that C bushing
Bit there,
deal, yeah.
And this would have came out here
Yep.
and wrapped around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too easy.
Then we gotta fix that.
Yep.
Okay.
We just unbolt that back section.
Sure.
Dropper, welder,
Well,
get the JB weld
that
off.
would be. You should be able to do this up in the air.
Probably. You do you, boo.
You do you, boo boo.
You do you. Alright, so I've got this mount off over here. If you can access the bottom side of it when you snap your bolt off, like that one, take and get your grinder out, grind yourself a little line in it, and then use a screwdriver and back that guy all the way out. Pretty painless on that one at least. So with being able to save that bolt, I think I'm just going to drill that other one out, throw a Healy coil in it, and call this mount fixed. There it went, right out the bottom, bam bam, saved that one. Let's save the rest of this mount, get it back in the car. All right, another quick little update. I went ahead, tapped and dyed both of these here, got this mount to where it'll work. I actually just drilled all the way through there and then tapped it so you can see there are nice new threads all the way throughout that guy there. That should go back on no problem. And Frederick is just banging out this front end. They did do at one point in time some energy suspension bushings here. It looks like they used red, so we would assume, but that still doesn't help the fact that these ones wore out here and the bushings are a little worn. They seem okay, but they're a little worn. So we're just gonna go ahead, press those out, press new ones in, and we gotta do this upper. It's a little floppy and got a torn boot. So that's why we're doing those ones. Other than that, going real good. Back's all done. This side's all apart, both sides here. Looking real good. That's where we're at. I'm gonna dive in, get this mount put back on this thing, hopefully get this engine set in place where it needs to be. Then we can go ahead, take that line apart, clean it real good, put it all back together, bleed this system, and hopefully this one's wrapped up. All right, quick tech tip for y'all. We got these bushings. Frederick's master man with the plan. Check this out.
Sometimes they don't always like to come out.
Sometimes. This is gonna be that time, y'all watch. But no, heat them up, wiggle them, jiggle them, they'll come out, especially if you don't need the bushing. These are old trash bushings.
Not too hot.
Just hot enough.
Ta-da!
One bushing down, one bushing to go. Pretty painless. You guys could press them out. You could. There's all sorts of ways, I'm sure. Frederick just found this way.
Nice clean surface too when you're done.
Kind of does, cleans it up a little bit for you.
Gets all that bullshit out of there.
Don't bend it, don't crease it by trying to pry it and force it. So that's a quick tech tip for y'all. He's gonna bust this other one out real quick. There it is. Let's go back to getting this engine mount in. Went ahead, got it set there, got my bolts tight. Now I'm gonna work on getting the cover back on. Super stoked. Check it out. We got this motor mount back in. It's all nice and tight. Everything went good there. It is sitting all on back on its own. Engine is level like it should be. So that is great. We just tapped that one out there. This one was still good threads. It just broke the bolt off. So able to save that one, put a new bolt in that one. They both go all the way through now. No harm, no foul. Now for the fun part. Let's do this line. As you guys can see here, this line just kind of flops around and it has a union right here. And that union got smushed yesterday when the mount broke and squished this right up there. It was actually leaking out of it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull both these lines off. This one's got a little kink in it right there. I'm gonna pull both these lines off and reroute this line, get it tucked up somewhere better. I know they did this to try to make it look clean, and it's pretty simple there, but it has the I mean, a wheel could get it. If you turn this wheel all the way right there, it could rub on that line real easy. I mean, line touches it right there. And it rubs on the axle, and that could have maybe been some of it. You can actually maybe see where it's been rubbing on the axle right there. So, taking all the paint off, just kind of beating around. I want to get all of that addressed. Other than that, this thing's looking pretty good. We do have an idler that we're gonna replace on it as well. This one right here. It's pretty floppy. Even with the belt on, it's got a lot of flop. So I'm gonna pop that guy loose, replace it, get them lines bled fixed, fluid, all that. This one will be done. Frederick got the new bushings in the front of the Miata for the sway bar. Sway bar end links, bam bam, then we're all good now. We have to reuse these energy suspension bushings here because this is a thicker upgraded sway bar. Them bushings were still good there. It was just the end link bushings. It came as a total kit. But as you guys can see, that diameter there definitely won't fit around that there. No harm, no foul. Reuse them ones and keep on plucking. I'm gonna get this thing down on the ground, get that line fixed, and see if we can go rip this thing around, hopefully. After a quick little Wendy's break, we went ahead and got our cable all put up here the way it ought to be. I think I'm happy with that. I went through, took these apart, cleaned them, and tightened them back down. So they should all be good and sealed. We'll find out when we bleed it. But I went ahead and put a little tie holder right there to hold that line up against the frame rail. And then we did the same thing here. This is like a throttle cable bracket. We took it, bolted it into the bottom here, and that holds that line. So now it's all out of the way. Even if the trans was to come loose again and kick up there, it can't get that line because it is tucked up out of the way. And it's shielded on this side, so the tire can't rub on it. I think that'll work good there. Comes right up here to the slave, all like it should. That's our best route without replacing this line and doing like a one-piece line, which is something he can definitely do. We can order them from Summit, get them put on. But this is a really quick, easy fix to that without having to go through all the headache. So it's good and tight there and down. We're gonna top it off with fluid, bleed it, and see what we get. And as soon as that's done, replace this idler, send this one home. All right, Miata folks, what is this guy? Anyways, it's leaking. That's where that big old leak coming down is, and it's just kind of this leak up front's definitely power steering coming down and getting by the harmonic balancer. But this leak here, we were thinking maybe rear main. Frederick traced it all the way up, and it's right back there is where it's coming from. We're gonna do a little Google searching and see what that's all about. Maybe easy fix, maybe a gasket back there, maybe it's just loose. Yeah, a little silicone, a little poopy goopy, and send it. But we're gonna figure out this power steering leak. It's whining real bad, so we definitely know it's leaking. Frederick's thinking either from this line or the pump right on the back side here. These have the tendency to leak on the old Toyotas. So if there's anything like a Toyota, it could be that, or it could be this line. That line is pretty gunky on the top side there. We'll figure it out one way or another. We're gonna get that fixed. Get this oil leak found, get it addressed, and then hopefully get this Miata back to the owners leak-free. That'd be sweet. Yeah, leak-free and squeak-free. Be a good day. Waiting on the pulley to come in on this one. We found a bad idler, so getting that idler. Other than that, this thing is all back together, waiting for its test drive so I can confirm that the clutch is good, everything's good that way. Hopefully it is. I really don't want to have to dive into this and then keep it down for the customer any longer, but if we do, That's the price you pay to play, baby. Let's dive back into these and get them finished up. All right, Frederick's about determined our issue here.
Look at that plate right there, watch. Hit it.
Oh yeah.
See the bubbles? See the bubbles? Yep.
Keep it pushed all the way over. Keep it there.
That's it. Is that going up? Yep.
So just like that, he found our issue. It's not a line, it's actually that backing plate for the pump. So we'll loosen that thing up, see if it's got a gasket, see what it all needs. Might just put a little loopy goopy on it and send it on its way. That might be all it needs is some goop. Pretty painless. We're finding all sorts of little things with this. And it works out great for us to have the lift and get these things up in the air and get them down where we can actually see them eye level. Makes everything so much better for us and our customers there. Anyways, we're gonna figure out this line leak and get this one closer to being wrapped up. For all you Miata lovers out there, they put some things in some tight spots. We're working on that cam angle sensor. Apparently it's a common seal to go out, cam, whatever you want to call it. That guy there. Real nice and tight. Super common issue on these things is for those seals to leak. We've got one ordered through O'Reilly's. It'll be in tonight. We're gonna get that popped off. Make sure that's the leak. Hope it is, cross our fingers. We've got the power steering leak fixed. Next is to get this exhaust leak fixed up on this thing. I don't think I've showed you guys that quite yet. Man, this lift has just been awesome. Awesome. Right there. Right there, that hanger's all torn. So we're gonna get this thing up in the air, fix this hanger. Maybe we'll just take that bolt out of this hanger and put just a normal Honda style. We'll weld a bracket onto there, put the rubber bushing in right there, and maybe fix it that way. Otherwise, I've got some universal exhaust mounts, or Frederick will come up with something with this to push that over, because right now, it clanks. That is a lot of our noise here at the back, plus that leak. I think once we get that, that'll fix the exhaust side of things. The rear's done, the front's gonna get tidied up. It's gonna be a brand new car. Brand new stinking car. What you think, Frederick?
I think the seal's gonna get replaced with it in the back like that.
Oh, okay.
Because
Fair
it
enough.
doesn't want to cooperate.
You guys can see it's right there. Such a tight little spot. There's
Yeah, it
everything.
doesn't want to go up or down.
Yep. Heater hose.
Yeah, those.
Yeah, those.
Yeah,
In the way.
in the way.
Yeah, y'all get the idea. We're gonna pull that gasket, see if we've got one here at the shop. If we do, great. If not, great. Hear that, y'all? Pulley will be in shortly, and that's how you hack a bracket off the exhaust. Oh, you're good.
No, I'm not.
Why? Oh, sparks on
No,
Donnie.
I'm not good.
Well, it moves under its own power here. We're gonna go ahead and do a quick TPS set. By looking at it, we think it's off. We're having a little rough run at low RPMs. You get it up in RPMs and it just screams, but low RPMs kind of wants to fall on its face. Give it a little bit of gas, wants to fall on its face. Could be a little bit maybe on the timing side of things. We don't believe it is. Could very well be, but we're gonna go ahead and check this TPS, make sure that it is correct. And if it is, well, we can rule that out. So we're like 5-1, we're pretty close. Fans are on. If we hit wide open throttle, we're at like 4-3 and our fans turn off. Fans on. Fans off. Fans on, fans off. I don't know what that's all about. Now they're off. I have no idea. Very strange, very strange. But we're gonna set this TPS, see if it makes a difference. We're gonna check that out. Frederick thinks we got a clogged PVC on this one also. All sorts of little things. Let's go for a little test drive in this thing, see how it does. That seems better. right, y'all, I'm gonna call that a successful test drive on this one. Seems to be shifting good, clutch feels good, it runs pretty decent. I really don't know how the car ran before because it wasn't running. I mean, it was running when it came in, but we never ran it because of the clutch issue. So we just got the car running, got the clutch figured out, got the engine mount fixed. Everything seems to be good. Did a couple pulls on it. Car sounds great. I think I'm wrapped up with this one. Let's get on to our next project. Hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Hope you're enjoying the week with us. Let's get on with it. Real quick, I don't know if you guys can hear those fans. You give it gas, the fans turn off. You let off the gas, fans turn back on. Hit the gas and they turn off. Very, very weird. I'm gonna tell the customer about it. We'll see. When you stink so bad, you gotta kick them outside. Yep. Yep. Using a little heat on these because the instruction says don't use a press because you might bend them. We don't want to bend them, we want them to all be right. So So Frederick's gonna heat them out.
Give it a minute or two.
A couple?
Huh?
Give it just a couple.
Miata specials.
Ooh, they're soon to be.
See how it's bubbling right there?
Uh-huh.
Want that to happen all the way around.
If only he had map gas.
Holy.
Could have been glowing red by now.
Oh yeah. Turn this into a freaking wherever you want it.
Yeah.
Big chunk of melted metal.
Melted flat.
Come on. Show me bubbles. There we go.
Come to Papa. And just like that,
Bushings are up.
bushings just fall right out. Heat them up, push them out. That's the way the instructions say to do them, so that's the way we're doing them. Look at this, all the specs. Too easy, too peasy. We love it. Exhaust is fixed on this thing. Everything's fixed. We're just cruising right along. Cable comes in, bushings come in tomorrow. We're gonna wrap this one up. We're gonna get ready to go home for the day. We'll catch you guys in the morning. Good morning, everyone. It's a rainy one out there, but it's Wednesday, and we all love hump day, don't we, honey?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's a great day out there. Gonna be a great day out there. We're gonna grab some breakfast, head to the shop, and see what we can get into today. If you know anything about DFW, you know you'll be sitting in traffic a while. We're on our way in. The last 2 days has just been crazy, so we took our alternative this morning. It got us. It's all backed up too. I don't know what's all been going on, but that's a good sign because that means there's a lot of people in the DFW. That means more business for us. Super, super excited. If you're in the DFW area, come check out Roachworks. We love our customers. I'm gonna even get a bunch of merch for the store so you guys don't have to get it off the website, so you can just come into the store and pick it up also. Better late than never, this guy shows up to work, let me tell ya. We even stopped for the good old McDonald's breakfast, and we still beat him. What do you think, Donnie? Oh, got him! Got him! Look at that, speechless, y'all!
We're not sponsored by McDonald's.
Not sponsored by McDonald's. Nope, ought to be. More than willing, he says. Good morning, y'all. We made it in here. It's a beautiful day. We've got a lot of parts for this. New bushings. Those came in late last night. Woo! You seen Frederick got those out with some heat. That's very exciting. And there's an empty bay right there. So that means time to get the next project in. But I actually got to run to the metal store to get some 3/16 plate. So we can start getting Donnie some measurements. To cut leaf spring perches, new rack mounts, all sorts of stuff for the Chevy. That thing's just a mess out there. We'll dive into that in a minute once we can get this up in the air. Frederick's gonna finish the suspension on the Miata, put it in the empty spot, and then we're gonna throw the Chevy up on the lift. Catch you guys in a minute. Y'all hear that? Frederick ain't he gonna take the day off. We're going to be out at the Pate swap meet the 28th and 29th. Frederick don't want to go. He's gonna miss out. Not a fan of people. But he is a fan of putting the bushings in these upper control arms, let me tell ya.
I will mess with cars all day long. People, that's a different story.
Or him and his mouse in his pocket are in the midst of putting the new bushings in. It's as simple as putting the goop they give you and pushing them in. Now some of them might be a little tighter than others. Ta-da! But just like that. Pretty simple deal. How easy that go in?
I will give it a 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10.
On easiness. If somebody's phone is ringing.
Your phone's ringing.
Is that me?
That's you. All day.
Shit.
We'll be back after a short message. You know the best part about having a second pair of hands? When you get frustrated and can't get it in, you let the other guy get frustrated with it. Or he just gets it right off the bat. Would you look at that?
Just force it in like I did.
You just force it in. See? That's why we got Frederick. I couldn't get the keyway just right, but I did lube the seal before I put it on. So, yeah. That should be our oil leak on this engine. We're gonna tighten that thing down now. And as in we, I mean Frederick.
He uses the term "we" loosely.
Very loosely, all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. And see that technique? Look at that, 2-finger pinch. Don't drop the bolts. Perfect.
Right in the hole.
Right in. We're gonna clock that thing right up. Thanks, Frederick.
You're welcome, Dad.
Would you look at that? Miata is back on the ground on all fours, and we're one step closer. Right now, good old Frederick, he's got the pump out, doing a rebuild on it. Yep. It was leaking out of that back seal that he has off right now. That guy. Oh, she looks flat, brittle.
Flat.
Yeah, flat and brittle. He's gonna go ahead and do the rest of that. I'm actually gonna run to the metal store so I can get what I need there finished up, so we can cut some plates out on the CNC and get started on that 50 Chevy. Let's go hit the metal store. Man, and just like that, got myself a truck. Oh, get that out of here before we get in trouble. Huge shout out to my boy Ryan, letting me borrow his truck. We're over here, picked it up from Caps. Shout out to Caps, gotta give them shout outs. Them guys are great, they help me, I'm gonna help them any way I can. Hit up Caps for all your alignment and suspension needs, and hit up Ryan if you need a cool cat to chat with. All right, let's go pick this metal up from the metal store. Oh. Ooh, look at that. Look at that 8-gen. Hatch 8-gen. 8-gen. Ooh, look at that 8-gen. Let's go get some supplies. Safety first, y'all. Put your seatbelts on. Catch y'all at the metal store. Boom, there it is. Core-Mark, just showing up to the metal supply store. I love coming here and searching through the metal, even though half the time I don't know what I'm after. I don't get what I need. I forget half the stuff, or I just get more than I need. And the funny thing about today, Jesse's Performance is here. Very exciting. Let's go see what we can get into. All right, just like that, we got in and out of Core-Mark. I picked me up some 3/16 sheet and some 1/4 sheet. We're gonna be using that to build some suspension perches and some rack and pinion stuff on this 50 Chevy. Let's go ahead, hit this road, and make it back to the shop. Back in the 08 gen, and I've got me some plate. I guess I could have fit them in this thing, but I was expecting to go after some larger plate. But I found these little guys, they'll get us started. They didn't have any 1 5/8 120 wall tubing, So we'll hit up Summit for that, and I gotta hit up Summit for a few knuckles for this steering column on this 50 Chevy anyways. So let's head back to the shop, get this stuff dropped off, and see what we can get done on this truck. And just like that, we made it back to the shop with VIP parking. Sure. Alright, y'all, so I made it back from the metal store. Got some 1/4-inch plate. This stuff's super thick, dog. And then went ahead and picked up some 3/16. They had bigger sheets. I need to get a bigger sheet. I'll grab that next time. This will do for what we need. Frederick got the Miata off the lift. Got that pump replaced, I take it. Everything pretty went well there, I'd assume. And now this 50 Chevy's in here. Frederick's trying to figure out good mounting point to get this thing on the lift so we can get it up. This one's getting all sorts of rear suspension work, front suspension work, electric power steering. We're putting the EFI back on it. All sorts of little things. We got to weld the front bumper off. I'm surprised it hasn't fallen off on Frederick yet. And all sorts of good little things. Get this thing super sound for the customer and his son. As I said before, this truck is for gentleman we call Nacho and his son to go cruising around in. We got to make sure it's perfect. I put Donnie in the dash out there the day that we picked it up. Super sketchy. We'll get it up in the air, show you guys what we're working with. All right, well, here's what we're working with. Them are the other guys. And there is no support. And then Frederick just pointed out that that bolt's loose. We've got a lot to work on. Them angles are okay, but that's pretty freaking severe if you ask me. Like, that's as 90 as the joint can get, actually. It really can't flex no more. So it's at its max angles. That one up there into the firewall is at its max angle as well. I mean, it's severe 90. So that's what we're gonna start with, getting this all off of here and getting it changed. That side there looks like it's shimmied back a little bit. Well, that one is a little bit too. I don't know. It's just a mess. We're gonna cut all this out. We're gonna replace this rack into a different position. And then we're going to add an electric power steering to this thing as well. Once we get all that taken care of, we're gonna come up here and fix all of this nonsense, garbage, welding. All these plates, like this plate here, that's just gonna fall off with the bumper. Yeah, you guys see that? It's just gonna fall off with the bumper. This one here, it's got two kind of bolts holding it in and a whole bunch of welding. Gonna fall off with the bumper. So that's all gotta get fixed also. And then I'll take you all around to the back here, kind of fill you in on what we got going there. If we look at these perches, you can see they're just kit to one side, hardcore. Bent tabs, everything. Then this one, woo! It's kicked out the opposite direction. You can actually see it on the leaf. The whole leaf's pushed out this way. And if we look at these tires, they're sitting in at an angle. The front's in way more than this rear is. So that means that this perch here isn't lined up with this perch here. And that could kind of make a whole bunch of sense. This thing's just a mess. At least they did one thing nice and put this cool cross member in here. Ran the fuel system behind it. Oh look, ground's not even hooked up. That's good. Just extra grounds, you don't need those. Heck yeah. So that's what we're working on this old pig. And then we're gonna change these headers out. Throw some shorties in here. Customer had them, wanted them on here from the last shop, and they just didn't give them to him. So we're gonna give them to him this time. Then we're gonna see what else we can find wrong with this thing. Fix that also, then get it back to good old customer and his son to rip around on. Pretty excited, pretty rusty old truck. Don't really matter to me though, it can stay rusty, it'll be okay. Well, that's good. What's that? The cross member, and it just bolts in on both sides. And this side looks pretty tight-ish. Not really, there's a whole big old gap on the top there, and then the same on this side. Big old gap. So that bar's sitting actually down. So we might change and fix that too. Oh yeah, it ain't even, holy Hannah. All right, I don't know if you guys can see in there. That plate isn't even made it up to the frame there. It's got a big old 1/8 inch gap probably on the bottom. We're gonna fix a lot of little things. We'll get back with y'all. All right, so we just went ahead, dropped this rack off. All the bolts were loose, so it came off real easy. Kind of gave us a little better view of what we're working with here. I'm gonna go ahead and unbolt these 2 brackets now and then start cutting all this stuff off of here. They had a good thing going, and then it just went south real quick on them. Placement, not bad. Angle, completely wrong. Bracket, sucked. So let's see if we can do any better. We're gonna be using the plasma over there, the CNC table, to actually cut out all our new brackets. So we won't hopefully have none of this boogerness. We can just make them real nice, get the angles that we need, all that good stuff, put it back up in here and finish that. We're gonna hold off on the rear. I got Nacho coming down Saturday to take a look at this. We're gonna possibly talk to him about going with the 4-link setup in the rear. I think cost versus time is gonna be all about the same. The amount of time I'm gonna have into trying to save all the rear in the hours, I think we can just get a 4-link, get it put in, about the same cost. He might have a little bit more on the part side of things, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be a whole lot better, ride better, and be a whole lot smoother of a ride. And
It'll be safer.
definitely safer. Definitely safer. The new R-line joints, I don't know if you guys have seen them, but check them out. They are sold at Summit, and things are freaking amazing. And we're gonna talk to him about this front end. I believe this is a mid-70s style front end on this thing. Really appears to be. All the upper and lower control arms all look like it. There's not a problem with running this setup, other than kind of how they put it in. It's super not the greatest. And we need a set of drop spindles. In order to keep this set up, you guys can see the angle on that upper ball joint there is just way bad, and then same on this lower. The lower's all the way in, the upper's all the way out. And even as this truck goes up and sits quote unquote level, those don't change much because the truck actually isn't even, the suspension hasn't drooped a whole lot from where it's at when we have a load on it. So that is definitely an issue. It's just something you gotta do. The drop spindles are fairly cheap for these things, super common deal. If we don't end up changing out to a Mustang 2, we're definitely just gonna do drop spindles, new joints. It looks like it has new bushings in it. Maybe change up a sway bar, fix some welds, and go from there. So let's get back into this thing, get this bracket cut off, and see what we can make of it. All right, y'all, this thing is a freaking mess. I made a couple cuts, busted the plasma out to try to clean up some more of this. If you guys know anything about stacking welds on welds on welds, they get really hard to grind through. Even with like the best grinders, they can be a bugger. So I'm working on this thing slowly but surely. This is why you take your time and do it right the first time, so then you don't gotta spend hours grinding the boogers back off. But we're gonna grind these off. I'm actually gonna get ready to call it a day, get this truck set back down a little bit, and get out of here. Frederick worked on this coupe a little bit to fill a few hours in today, made a good little bit of work on it. But tomorrow, whew, we busy. We're gonna have a busy, busy day. We had this sweet little 8th gen come in, broken valve cover bolts. I wanna say it's common, but it does happen. Both front valve cover bolts are broken. And then this gentleman had Jiffy Lube, I believe it was. Pep Boys. Pep Boys put a clutch in this thing a while back, and it has no fluid in it. It seems to work fine, but we're gonna put fluid in it, bleed the clutch, make sure it's all good on this one. And then we've got a sweet little EK coming in with a GSR, ITR motor, one of the two. Getting a whole bunch of maintenance done on it. And then we've got another job. I don't remember what it is, but it's come. Oh, Tim will be back with his Integra, that 90 we did. It's got some, developed a coolant leak. We're gonna get that fixed for him. That's another job we got for tomorrow. So we will catch you guys in the morning. We're going to get some shrimp. Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday down here. I got Frederick working out in the rain. I'm eating some McDonald's. I went and ran and grabbed a bunch of stuff this morning.
Because he's an amphibious creature.
Yeah, you hear him? This thing had 2 broken bolts. One right here, one right there. Frederick got those out. The customer didn't even want to attempt to do it themselves after they broke them, so we went ahead, got those, and then we noticed it was almost out of clutch fluid, so we're gonna put some clutch fluid in it, bleed it, make sure it's all good there. Neighbors, oh, I thought maybe they were ripping around on something fun, but that's not no fun. We're gonna wrap this thing up, and then we're gonna be working on some stuff inside here. We got a bushing kit for the Miata to wrap up. I'm gonna keep trucking on this thing. Frederick and I will put our brains together and come up with something on it. And if the weather stays like this, to be honest, Donnie's out today, we might just head to Bartlett today. We might just do that. We got one coming in at 1 o'clock, but it can wait till next week. I don't think we told him it was gonna be done this week, did we?
No, he should. It's not his daily driver, so we can start on next week and that's totally fine.
Boom. Y'all hear that? Next week would be fine. So then we can actually stack one or two up. I can finish the Miata tomorrow then. That would actually be pretty okay. That would work well. Things in that nature, because if it's raining. I got some thinking to do on this truck also. We were gonna do an electric power steering on it, but it doesn't need it because it has an hydraulic rack. We just gotta make it work. But it needs a 4-link in the back. So I'm gonna take that money that we were gonna spend on the electric power steering and we're gonna put it towards a 4-link on the back of this thing. You guys stay tuned for it. It's gonna be super rad. Let's dive back into some work. You getting wet yet?
Am I? Oh, you mean for the water?
Oh yeah, some water. So on the H-ends, you have to remove this thing to do your spark plugs, your...
Everything.
Basically put your oil in the car even. They're a pain. But for all you that own those, you don't actually have to put that in. You can leave that out and the piece just still goes down on top. But for our purpose, we have to put it back on. All right, we'll catch you guys in a little bit.
A single child today.
Yes, you will. Just like that, Frederick wrapped this one up, closed the hood on it, taking it for its final test drive. Make sure that clutch feels good. Make sure everything is Gucci. And if it is, we're gonna call them customers, tell them to come pick that one up. And hopefully that's another happy customer. With that being said, let's try to get some work done on this thing. It's a mess. I'm gonna go up with it. We're gonna get the jacks built, start designing some things. Since we're not counting hours, what you working on?
I am replacing shifter bushings in a Miata.
Shifter bushings in a Miata.
Miata.
So the customer complained about some transmission wind noise and heat coming up through the shifter compartment. Ta-da, that would be the reason. Shifter felt okay overall.
Yeah, shifter felt great.
Felt good, but we got the bushing kit. Apparently it goes from like a plastic to a brass or something. We got all this stuff to put in there. New boot. This little brass sleeve goes in. Then little nylon clips and things like that. And then this little top bushing for the actual shifter. That's pretty rad. Good little kit. You can pick them up. They're like $100, something right in that area. Not too bad to do. Pull the center console out.
Super easy.
Super easy. Is it like the Toyota?
Easier than the Toyota.
Easier than the Toyota.
Yeah. So far.
So far. So far, so good. Easier than the Toyota. The power steering pump's not bad on this one either. Just kind of in a bad spot, but you don't actually have to pull the pulley off the front. It just slides out once you get the C-clip off the back. Other than that, Thursday is going to be pretty chill. Frederick knocked that out fast. We got this job. Then we have a EK with an ITR, GSR, one of the two engines coming in. Ta-da! Okay.
Yeah, way easier than Toyota. Toyota's got a plate on both sides. You take that plate off, and then inside there's the same thing,
Okay.
pretty much. But on the Toyota, instead of have this little bushing, you'd have a half a plastic piece on this side, half a plastic piece on that side. If that wears out, then it's like, oh, I don't know where the gears go.
See ya, gears.
Yeah, what gear?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's all. We have this new piece even.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that piece, and then we have that bearing at the bottom.
these little pieces.
Oh, so this changes from plastic to
Yeah,
brass.
Plastic to brass.
Yep.
Okay. That's that piece.
Yep.
I
Add
was
some
wondering.
grease to it.
Looby doobies.
Oh yeah, that grease is caked on there.
Old and crusty.
Old and crusty.
Never been done. Well, there you have it. Super, super easy install, hopefully. We're gonna press all that together and see where this Thursday takes us. Like I was saying, it's pretty chill. Donnie had to run down to the office today and work down there, so we can't actually work on cutting CNC, but I'm gonna start designing, getting the rest of this cleaned up on this truck. We still have a lot of cleaning. Frederick and I might head out this afternoon to go get the next fun project here. We're picking up the Hatcher truck from Mahoney. Thanks for selling it to us, bud. And we're gonna turn that into a truck. We're gonna chop the back off some more, cut it down some more, change up a few things, put a ladder rack on it. Roach works it out. Maybe throw some dubs on it or something. Cruise it around. Anyways, that's all I got for now. We'll check back in with you guys in a little bit. Check it out, I actually got my hands a little dirty with the Miata. Hey, helped Frederick get the shifter boot all knocked out. I think we got it all positioned the right way here. He's looby-doobing everything up the correct way. That good old Liqua Moly. We like it, but we got that new bushing in there. We got the brass bushing down there. The new rubber on there. So hopefully no exhaust leaks will be getting through there, no noises. Then we've got a brand new shift boot sitting right over there, passenger seat. Like the side looks, like the looks of that. That's a good sign there. We're gonna finish this up. I'm gonna go do some donuts in the old Miata. And then all we have left to do is put a cable in this thing, send it home to the customer. Hope you guys are enjoying this video. I think I'm actually gonna get ready to wrap this one up. It's currently Thursday. It's been a full week and we've got a lot done. Tomorrow we go pick up a new fun toy. I'm gonna fill you guys in on that. So I think we'll start our week out with that. And then all the new stuff that's coming in. Next week's another full week of new customer cars. Those ones will be kind of short little quick jobs. We won't have anything lingering around like this truck or the NSX over here. They'll be in and outs. But with that being said, I hope you guys are really enjoying the video, enjoying this new style of content, enjoying having Frederick in the house. I know we're all really enjoying having him around. It's been a huge weight off of my shoulders. Getting twice as much work done, I hope. If not, at least I'm getting some other errands done, getting the social media caught up on, getting this coop slowly put together. That's a huge bonus. Slowly getting some things knocked out. Huge thanks to him and a huge hand around here. So with that, I'm actually gonna end this one now. Yep, end this one now. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll catch you on the next video. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And again, thanks for the support. Y'all got anything? Anything for the week? Anything?
Nope.
Anything? Nope. Done?
Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend. Yep. Out. See ya.